Greetings nerdy list aficionados, and it's time for more alternates, those versions of popular characters with a twist, usually from alternate realities, but not always. Today we're checking back in with Doctor Strange, who has fewer alternates than you would think, but the ones that do exist are pretty interesting. Before we get started, there's a new channel called Tier List, ranking things in tiers. If you want to see things ranked and get some of your favorite hosts like Kelly, come on, you know you want to see Kelly. Also, one of the first 10,000 subscribers is gonna win a $250 gift card, so come on. You know you wanna. Go check it out, the link will be in the card or down below. Now on to the alternates. I'm Sasha and these are the top 10 strongest alternate versions of Doctor Strange Part 2. That and just Part 2 of Doctor Strange in general. Number 10. Carl Strange. This one is a bit of a reach, but an intriguing tale nonetheless. So Doctor Strange debuted in Strange Tales number 110 in 1963. However, just 2 months later, Stan Lee, Robert Bernstein, and Jack Kirby created another character of the same name, another Doctor Strange. This one, a criminal scientist. He appeared in an issue of Tales of Suspense, specifically number 41, in the story The Stronghold of Doctor Strange. So yes, that was his villain moniker. The story. Due to a freak lightning strike, the Doctor had developed psychic powers that he used for evil. Now we all know that psychic powers are a credible threat on the strength scale, but keeping this character around would have proved too confusing, and I'm happy with the Doctor Strange we have. And all his more legitimate alternates. Come on, you know you like reaching with me. It's a workout. Number 9. 1602. If you've been hanging around this channel for a while, then you've heard that title before. Marvel 1602 was an 8-issue comic series published in 2003 through to 2004, and written by Neil Gaiman of Sandman and American Gods fame. The series' premise centered around a world wherein superpowers had appeared far earlier, manifesting in the Elizabethan era, which of course altered the course of human history. In this universe, Doctor Strange is Dr. Stephen Strange, or rather Sir Strange, and is Queen Elizabeth I's court magician. He is also the court physician. Say that 10 times fast. He occupies the space of a real-life person, or rather is fictitiously modeled off of said person, in that fusion of reality and fiction that Marvel enjoys doing. In this case, the figure that partially inspired this version was John Dee, an advisor to Queen Elizabeth, who did study alchemy. Strange in this universe still has access to mystic power, but is not as adept without all his modern materials. So while he can astral project, he doesn't really remember much of what he sees there, and using his powers tires him. Still, especially for the time, he is formidable, though he does allow himself to be executed for witchcraft. But get this, it's so Clea can keep his head alive, Futurama style, so he can help stop the destruction of reality. Number 8. 2099. Future Strange. Marvel 2099 is a Marvel imprint that began in 1992. It was at first its own thing, a potential future, but it was later retconned to being the future of the prime Marvel Earth 616. It ran from 1992 to 1998, but characters from it, especially Spider-Man 2099, appear to this day, at the time of this recording that is. In this universe, Strange is the Sorceress Supreme, a young woman who shares her body with a demon, gone, the form of man. Just kidding, it's totally different. Kinda. She is still learning to control her powers, which are quite strong, but require mastery, and some feel she has yet to earn the title of Sorcerer Supreme. This version has actually met the main verse Stephen Strange, who ended up sending her on a quest. Aside from housing a demon, her powers include healing, levitation, force blasts, teleportation, psychometry, illusions, and sleep spells. Number 7. Doctor Strange. Doctor has to be on here just for that pun. 'Tis a powerful pun. Doctor Strange hails from Howard the Duck's home dimension, Duck World. Funnily enough, Duck World was a concept that Howard's creator Steve Gerber absolutely hated. In this universe, Strange is still a sorcerer, bearing the title Mallard of the Mystic Arts, but he's also a drunk who lives in an alley drinking sorcerer's sauce, which is really just alcohol. I don't know, there was a period where some people at Marvel just thought alcoholism was hilarious. Despite all of this, his powers are legit, and he even sends people across universes. He sends Beverly and Howard back to Earth. So don't be afraid to seek out Doctor Strange, sorcerer's sauce and all. Number 6. TV's Doctor Strange from 1978. So Benedict Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange is not the first Doctor Strange movie. No, that honor goes to the made-for-TV disaster Doctor Strange, starring Peter Hooton as the Sorcerer Supreme.
Nothing Stephen Strange learned in medical school could prepare him for an attack by an evil sorceress from the 4th dimension. A villainess who can only be stopped by an earthly master of the mystic arts.
You're telling me you're a sorcerer? I came here to try to help a patient of mine.
Come and take him into our domain.
So this was meant to be a pilot for a TV series that obviously never happened. In this movie, Doctor Strange is a psychiatrist who has mystic powers latent in his veins and a signet ring from his father. In fact, magical forces know he is slated to be the next Sorcerer Supreme. With instincts that can sense the mystic, he finds himself drawn into a battle for the many realms, and he learns that his parents died saving him. He manages to defeat a demon first try when he is dispatched to the astral plane. He ultimately decides to give up being mortal and become the Sorcerer Supreme, which comes with all kinds of powers, including astral projection, and 70s magic, and a 70s perm. He's strong by the movie's own logic, with the caliber of foe he defeats, but my god, this movie is bad. And only fun bad some of the time. Most of the time it's boring, which to me is just the cardinal sin any movie can commit. Number 5. Dr. Mordrid. So this is a 1992 movie with B-movie actor extraordinaire Jeffrey Combs as the titular Dr. Mordrid. Reanimator is amazing. If you haven't seen it, watch it. He was also on Star Trek DS9. Fangirling over. Anyways, Dr. Mordrid was supposed to be a Doctor Strange movie. The producer and co-director Charles Band had the option, but it expired before production could get started. But he didn't scrap the project. Instead, he reworked it, rewriting key scenes to make it much looser, and adding new characters. Still, the character was originally going to be called Dr. Mortalis, and the concept art was done by the late great Jack Kirby. I don't know what the movie would have been, but the movie that was made, Camp Gold.
Cabal is a demon who uses mortals to do his bidding.
What difference does it make if I want this dying planet?
A sorcerer is not a god.
Mordrid is sent to Earth by the Watcher to stop a hellmouth from being opened by the evil Cabal, who needs the Sorcerer's Stone to open it. Mordrid does not age as mortals do, waiting for Cabal for 140 years, and has mastery over a wide array of spells, such as being able to reanimate dead creatures. Of course, there's lots of energy blasts. Lots of 90s energy blasts. He can wander the magical dimensions, and of course has the rest of your standard sorcerer repertoire. This movie sparked joy. Not for the reasons I'm sure they wanted, but joy is joy. Number 4. Ultimate Strange. Yes, the Ultimate Verse. It's the revamped Marvel imprint meant to draw in new readership, and was also utilized as an opportunity to tweak a whole bunch of origins, and just take things in a new direction. Sometimes it worked, and sometimes it was odd or just gruesome for the sake of gruesome's sake. In this universe, Doctor Strange had married Clea and had a son with her, Stephen Strange Jr., who was raised away from magic after his father mysteriously vanished. He was later approached and trained by Wong. Stephen Jr. takes on the mantle of Doctor Strange despite not having a doctorate, and also takes on the mantle of Sorcerer Supreme, despite not being as good as his father. A fact he blames on being raised away from magic, but I mean, so was Strange Sr., so a poor workman blames his tools, that's all I'm saying. Still, with time, Strange Jr. could have reached the heights of his father. However, he was brutally killed in the controversial story arc Ultimatum. Some say this story arc was the downfall of the entire Ultimate Universe. He was killed by Dormammu, twisting his robes around him till his head exploded. Burst like a grape. Ultimatum was gross, but seemingly just to be so, which is probably why it went over so badly. That and it just killed people left, right, and center. Number 3. Punisher Supreme. So when it comes to characters you expect to team up, be honest, how high up on the list were the Punisher and Doctor Strange for you? Now, they actually do have a team-up miniseries from 2017 called Magic Bullets. Let that sink in. But that's not what we're here to discuss. Instead, we're here to discuss 2 separate instances of what-ifs that saw Doctor Strange possess the Punisher. What If number 24 from 1991 and Secret Wars Battle World, which isn't exactly a what-if, but functioned in a similar way, playing out these different scenarios. In the latter, he gives the Punisher access to his mystic powers, and as you can imagine, a lot of people get slain. Doctor Strange's powers and the Punisher's weapons, and lack of remorse about just mowing his way through people. It was a potent combination. Number 2. The MCU. That's right, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now some balk at this, but if you think about it, the MCU is just another universe branching off of the 616 one, making all the characters there up for grabs. Doctor Strange here has much the same origin as his comic counterpart, but his skill set, especially in the power scale of the MCU, is quite something to behold. From being able to enter the mirror dimension, transport people and objects across space and dimensions, learn new spells and just knowledge at an accelerated rate, time walk, astral project, heal, create shields, manage massive objects with little effort, and more. Doctor Strange is a force to be reckoned with. Plus he has the obligatory MCU power of snark, which seems to add to these characters' power scale, at least in this universe. Sass. Sass everywhere. And number 1, Soldier Supreme. This is Steven Rogers, Steven with a PH, a combination of Dr. Stephen Strange and Steve Rogers. This is from Warp World in the Warp Universe from the arc Infinity Warps. This occurred after Gamora used the Infinity Stones to seal the souls of the universe in the Soul Gem, and then also folded that universe in half, resulting in an amalgam universe where people were fused together. This created the Soldier Supreme. So in this world, Steven goes out for Dr. Erskine's Super Soldier Serum experiment, but that's just a cover for a mystic ritual, which enhanced Rogers' strength, yes, but also gave him access to phenomenal cosmic power. So here we've got all the access to Strange's power set, plus the super serumness of Steve Rogers combined. Sounds like the perfect combination of magic and brawn. I wouldn't want to take on the Soldier Supreme. In fact, when the Soldier Supreme finds out that he's made up of 2 souls, he decides to stay fused together, even after Warp World is made separate so that the people there can continue to exist, and separate should they so choose. Cause he knows how good a combo they are, even if the Captain America helm on the top of the cape is silly. It's fine. So those were some alternate versions of Doctor Strange. Which one is your favorite, and what's the weirdest team up you can think of? I mean, Doctor Strange and the Punisher? That's pretty out there. I'm Sasha, thanks so much for watching Top 10 Nerd. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and of course subscribe to Tier List for your chance to win $250. Johnny, Kelly, and I will see you again soon. I said it already, and that's fine. I'm out. Bye!